What's up, guys? Today we're talking about space. Alright, so space and sci-fi and all that good stuff has been around in entertainment for ages. Since, I mean, come on, Galaga, Star Wars, Star Trek, that's what I stole this little bit of intro from. At least modern day sci-fi, I think, was back in like the 1920s or something. And of course, an inevitable part about space and space media is the given feeling of exploration and getting you to think about what's out there and exploring the stars and all that good stuff that they can make you sell toys about. So if a game came out that pretty much gave you free reign over your own ship, your own schedule, your own kind of set of rules, you can go do whatever, that would of course be amazing. I mean, just the thought of being able to have your own ship, a system for you to explore, stuff to shoot at, stuff to go, I don't know, mine or do whatever. If there was a game that truly let you do kind of all of that, that would be amazing. And that is exactly what Star Citizen is trying to accomplish. So of course, that begs the question of what truly is Star Citizen? Well, Star Citizen is an alpha. It is a public alpha that you can go play. Now, just a little sidetrack, if you aren't aware of what an alpha means, like in gaming terms, basically that's like the pre-release of the pre-release. It's kind of like the full release, and then before that there's the beta, and then before that there's the alpha. So, I mean, it's kind of great that this game even is available to play, given that it's still kind of early in development. However, that's one of the most interesting parts about Star Citizen, because this game has been funded over $500 million and has been in development since like 2010 or something. I don't know. I'll put up the date. I don't know the exact date off the top of my head. Now, the thing that I found interesting was how much of this game was just basically ran by the community. I mean, if all the funding came right from them just purchasing ships to play the game with. Now, the thing that got me wondering is, while this is all pretty great, I mean, of course it's wonderful to be supporting these guys, is it actually worth spending your money on to play the game how it is? So with it all being said, yes, it's gained a lot of money, and yes, it has been development for a long time, but is it worth actually playing? I mean, after all, you're still paying $45 to like $60 or $70 just to gain access to the game, and if all it is just a buggy alpha with barely any features, why would you ever want to spend money on it? So that is exactly what I decided to try and figure out. I bought myself a Drake cutter because I thought the name was funny because it sounded like Drake. And I was gonna jump right into the what they call the persistent universe. That's like the main mode of the game. And here we are, actually playing Star Citizen. Now, something that must be pointed out is that this game really prioritizes its immersion over pretty much anything else. I mean, for example, this is going to be a time lapse. This is how long it takes once you wake up, aka logging into the game, to get out of your apartment all the way to your ship. It could take like 5 minutes or so. I mean, look, it's kind of just like a little pet peeve, and this can be avoided, or I guess worked around, by sleeping on board your ship, which just spawns you directly in your ship. However, if you don't do that and you just kind of log out and log back into the game, this is what you're going to have to do. And it's not that bad. I mean, it's a cool sequence. You know, you're kind of going throughout the little city that you choose or whatever. But it can be pretty tedious on like the 50th time or so. But anywho, all that aside, I mean, for an alpha, this game, it plays. It 100% is a video game of all time. And you know what? I'm having a pretty good time with it so far. Here's me flying my Drake cutter that I mentioned earlier. And the flying mechanics, even on a mouse and keyboard, feel really good. It's honestly just enjoyable flying even this kind of clunky ship around, even in atmosphere. And thankfully, there's a lot of stuff for you to fly to and go do. Anything from cargo runs to finding a wrecked ship and trying to recover a crew member, to going and shooting down a bad guy, even sometimes that dude that you're hired to go kill may be another player. They really incorporate a lot of different mission types, even including like mining and stuff. And while the mission selection is kind of limited right now, and the effects of that are kind of limited right now, at least in my opinion, it's definitely worth playing, and it's definitely worth sinking some time into, even especially considering it's an alpha. And they are releasing updates. I mean, they're kind of slow with it, but they are releasing updates, and they're adding new missions and new content and updating the engine a lot. And it's honestly a pretty good time. Now, of course, it's not all good things. Of course, this is an alpha. A lot of stuff is buggy. The optimization is straight up bad, in my opinion. I'm running on a 2060 Super on the recommended graphics from all the various forums that I've looked up, and it kind of gets like 30 frames, albeit like when you're actually flying your ship. It does get back up to like 60 or so. However, if you like load into a new area, it tanks, at least in my experience. On my other computer, where I have a 3060 Ti, or yeah, it's a 3060 Ti. It runs fantastic. I get like 60 to 70 frames in most scenarios, but optimization could definitely be worked on. I believe that they're actually adding that in their next patch, so that's not really something I'm too worried about. And a lot of my main issues with the game, they are probably going to solve because, again, it's just an alpha. Now, something to be considering of is that when you buy the game, you're going to be buying it in this state, how it is. I mean, they are, of course, releasing updates, but they are slow with it. This game has been in development for 10 years, and there's no full release date even in sight, at least from the stuff that I've been able to find. So you are going to be buying it expecting to be in an alpha state, and you're going to be playing in its kind of, I'm not going to say baby steps, but I'm definitely not going to say it's near completion steps either. Now, in my opinion, if you are at all interested in the game, I think that you should definitely check it out. The lowest tier starting option is like 45 bucks, and they also host like free play sessions for like 2 weeks at a time every once in a while. So it's definitely worth checking out, and their refund team, from what I've heard, is also pretty good. So yeah, if you're interested in the game, you should check it out. However, be prepared, it will be buggy. You might fall through the floor a couple times, but it's definitely worth trying to get through. A lot of the missions also can feel pretty similar, I'll say, like all the cargo ones. Like once you do one, you've kind of done them all. But again, that kind of touches back to this game is literally only an alpha. Once they kind of add some more of those really big updates, this game is going to be in a even more fantastic state than it is in. Especially once they start working out those kind of bugs that I mentioned. You know, you might fall through the floor a couple times. Your ship might inexplicably flip over when you try to land it. It happened to me. I got stranded on a frozen moon for like an hour, but some cool dude saved me. It was awesome. But overall, my thoughts on the game, pretty fun, although it's not a finished game yet. But, you know, I'd say it's worth checking out. Anywho, if you enjoyed this video and would like others like it, kind of more focused on Star Citizen, I will be happy to make those. There's a lot more about this game that I could entirely be talking about. This was just kind of more my general thoughts on the game rather than actually going too in-depth about it. Anyway, if you'd like to see that, please let me know, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. See ya!